Welcome to the Preach Wizards podcast. Today we're going to do a quick recap of the Detroit Pistons win and the Atlanta Hawks loss and take a look and see, can the Wizards still make a decent playoff run, or are we going to be stuck in the play-in, or worse, are we going to sit out completely? We'll take a look forward at the upcoming Wizards schedule, all next on the Preach Wizards podcast. You know what time it is. It's time to preach. Okay. Well, the Wizards had a close game against Detroit on, let's see, today is Thursday, so that would have been on Tuesday, the 14th, or excuse me, the 7th, and then yesterday, March 8th, we had a close game, but a loss to the Atlanta Hawks. Now, in my most previous episode, I said that the Wizards would split with the Hawks, so, a loss so far here isn't the end of the world. If you want to look back at that episode, I actually did look forward at the Wizards' next 6 games as well as the teams 6 through 9 in the East, and we took a look and saw what their schedule would be like, and we were being pretty fair weather on the win-loss ratio just to see where we could be landing with these next games, and really everyone we're playing is close contenders with us in the East. So one thing I noticed, and I started to have this feeling actually for the Wizards last season, and I pulled up their schedule, and we can take a look at it to see together, but I wondered if there was a parallel to last season at all with these close games. I know close games are common in the NBA. I actually went ahead and also pulled up the Boston Celtics schedule, a good team in the East, to see what their game point ratios were looking like. Did they differ from ours? There weren't as many close games in a row as I thought, but I'll go ahead and switch over to that now so you guys can also take a look. So here's the Wizards 21 and 22 season, and taking a look here, we can just look at the back half of the season. Bunch of losses coming, it looks like, from March 9th, hopefully this isn't telling, all the way to March 18th, where we, I was trying to look and see, is there any similarities here that we can see in these game schedules here? That might be a better way to look. And nothing jumped out to me. It just, and sometimes the end score isn't completely telling, right? Because there's some baskets in there towards the end of the game that didn't really matter. But to me, it just felt like last season there was a lot of close games. And the reason why I bring this up, I always used to say this isn't a sustainable way to win. Even when we went on a little streak, it felt like so many games were like nail biters for the Wizards. And, they would almost feel good about winning those games. But at the same time, it was like, I don't think you can continue to win this way. Like, why is every game so close, it feels like? Like, when's the last time the Wizards blew someone out? And maybe we can even look at that from this season and taking a look at our win column. Yeah, okay. So I'm not crazy. There was a lot of nail biters. Let's zoom in right here from November 5th to November 27th of last season. We had a 115-87 win over Memphis, so we could call that a blowout. So that's great. I wonder what was going on with Memphis that game. Milwaukee Bucks, we ended up winning 101-94. I barely remember this. Then Cleveland, and I think that 101-94 game was closer. Again, it's like those last couple buckets, maybe one of them to like close out. But before that, it was a closer game. And then we had a 97-94 win, which was a closer game. Orlando, looks like, they're Orlando though, so that's okay. But then right after that, New Orleans, 105-100. A nice little streak of wins for the Wizards for sure, but a lot of close calls. And I just remember when this would happen going, this can't last. Man, Charlotte had our number last year too. I remember that. I would pencil those in and say these are going to be easy wins for the Wizards. And Charlotte beat us. It looks like 97-87 after that 5-game win streak. Then a loss to Miami, a win against Miami. But again, a 3-point game. It's like where's the blowouts? Like that's what I was hoping for just any of these games, whether it be against Toronto or Atlanta, just really running away with it. And I guess I'm already going to pivot to another point I wanted to make, and it's that the Wizards, when we played the Bucks, I talked about this in my last episode too, but it's a great talking point for now because I had a question and I had an assumption. And the Wizards, when they played the Bucks, there was like the urgency was high, and I felt like that's why we played so good. There was urgency on the court. We wanted to score. We wanted to play defense. We wanted to beat them because they're the Bucks, though. That's what I was thinking when I discussed this in my last episode. I asked the question: were we urgent because we want to make a playoff run and every game matters, or were we urgent because we were playing the Milwaukee Bucks and it felt like the big time? Unfortunately, I think we learned that it was because we were playing the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's great that we can try to rise to the occasion. But when we're playing teams this year like uh, the Detroit Pistons, like I don't know if their close game with us was circumstantial. They had a lot of guys out. I wonder though if because there were so many people out, we didn't really know who could do what playing wise, right? So did that like cause the game to feel kind of haywire, because we're not a team like the Celtics or the Bucks that can just go in and I think and just completely dominate. We haven't proved that. So I wonder if just like the uncoordinated Pistons was a factor in the Wizards not being able to just like run away with the game, or um did we just not play with urgency, right? Did we not rise to the occasion uh against the Detroit Pistons? Because it would have felt a lot better. I mean, a win's a win, and Gafford got a last second shot, but it would have felt a lot better if the Washington Wizards had gone into that game and won by like 20 and our bench came in or something at the end, or like our, you know, the cleanup crew at the end of game. If we could have pulled something like that off, everybody just would have felt confident going into this Hawks game. But the fact that it's close, it just doesn't sit well with me. Now, historically, here I did look, and we had a lot of close games with the Pistons. So there is a such thing, where a team kind of just has your number. So maybe Detroit is just a team that we don't play well against. But okay, here's a win here. We seem to beat them pretty often, but see, like here's one from last year in March, 116 to 113. So here's one again. Look at this, 197. Gosh, we've had so many close games against Detroit. So we looking back at that data, it could mean that we just the Detroit's a team that just plays strong against us, right? Maybe they have a grudge against us. So, but let's hop over to the Celtics. Uh, this is their last season from last year. All right, so there's the playoffs. Let's just try and look. Man, we blew them out 144 to 102. Oh no, they blew us out. I was gonna say, yeah, sorry. This flipped around. I was like, when did we do that against the Celtics? That's the Celtics doing that to us. That's just awful. So they had some games against the Pistons here, and they seemed to beat them just a 1 point difference in both those games. Not really close, but let's look. I mean, look at the Celtics and the Magic here, 116 to 83. And then look at this next game against the Nets, 126 to 91. I mean, and then Denver, still a 6-point win, right? Not a buzzer beater against Denver, and Denver's a good team. Atlanta beating them by 10 here at the end. Then look, they play the 76ers 135 to 8. Like the Wizards just can't play basketball like this. Look at their win column here, and let's go back to the Wizards. Let's go back to the Wizards win. So we had one good game against Memphis, but I can't remember the last time we've done something like this. Milwaukee, I think, was a nail biter, and then we got some buckets at the very end of the game. So I'm calling this a close game. 3 point game. Okay, like here we have an 8 point game, not bad, and then a 5 point game. And then look at all these close games after this. And again, go back to this Boston win streak here. Big win. Big win. That's cool. You can do some different stat projections here. Uh, this was a man. Is this just a different stat? This one actually a 20 point win against Denver. 9 point win against Oklahoma. This is a different win streak they went on, and it still compares great. Uh, big win, big win. Look at how they won those games. The Wizards don't have anything like this, a run of games like this, maybe one mixed in. But we don't have any games where they just dominate. I mean, I don't watch enough Celtics games. You wonder how often are the Celtics bringing in their you know, unfortunately we'll call it garbage time players to come in when the game is over. I mean, you know how good the Wizard fans base would feel if we did that like every 2 or 3 games, where it's just like, oh, we're playing the Pistons, we're gonna come in here and blow these guys out by 30 points. It just doesn't happen. It feels like every single game is close for us, and this frustration I'm feeling, that's why I'm not even playing the piano today. I'm not playing any songs today because I wrote some things down. I'm like, it's not even funny. I mean, I'm disappointed that the Wizards aren't trying to just be a better team. And this goes on the team. I'll pivot to some positivity after this because I do think compared to last year, there's a lot of great things uh, that the Wizards can hopefully turn into production later this season. Let me just go ahead and get off my window here, but I wanted to just sorry, I lost my train of thought for just a second. So yeah, I'm just frustrated that the Wizards, we don't, yeah, just don't dominate games. I mean, and that's on the players. Really, the players need to just play with that urgency. There's something about Kuzma and Beal, they just try and be too cute when they play basketball. There's something about that just always has bugged me. There's a lot of positives to take away as of recent, but again, the Wizards just need to start punching some teams in the mouth. I heard someone say that recently. Punch them in the mouth, and it's like, man, we need something like that coming up. We really really do. Um, the one positive that I wrote down, not to be a negative Nancy here, but one positive I think moving forward for the Wizards is since the All Star break when we've returned, it win or loss, I think it has seemed like the Wizards have some kind of plan in their games. Uh, Defensively too. They stick to it sometimes and maybe don't adjust the right way and they lose because of it. But and so Wizards fans get pissed and they'll say, "Oh no, we no adjustments. Wes Unsell's the worst coach. We're horrible." But I don't think that's necessarily true. It's actually nice to see the Wizards playing with some sort of plan. Even if we lose, I think that it's okay because having a plan, and then losing a game, I think the coaching staff is going in there and saying, okay, well, here's what worked, here's what didn't, and it seems to me that every game they're working on something a little bit different. A stat that surprised me. I hopped in here to the NBA stat. Oh, let me get back to my other screen here. I hopped into the league stats, and I thought, where are the Wizards in turnovers sitting? And I was actually surprised to look at some of these numbers. The two top teams in the NBA, the Denver Nuggets in the West, the Milwaukee Bucks in the East, rank not good in the turnovers per games, or I guess let's see here. Is this stat line right? Oh, that's the steal category. Okay, yeah. Let's see. So yeah, a lot of teams actually hovering around 14 turnovers per game. The Wizards just like in the middle of the pack here. I was surprised by that stat. I thought maybe we would be further down the list there, but it says 14.3. Denver Nuggets at 14.8 for turnovers, and same with the Milwaukee Bucks. So I think we can improve here in this number. If we could get it, okay, so no one's under 10 turnovers a game. I think if we could just get, yeah, be where are the Hawks at? The Toronto Raptors at 11 turnovers per game. Man, I mean, if we could really just decrease our average, maybe get 3 to 4 less turnovers a game, that would be much better for us. But when I saw this stat line, I just started to think, well, what is it about the Wizards that are losing games? We had 17 turnovers to the Hawks 11, so that does matter overall. Let's take. I didn't even look, you guys. I was so shocked by that turnover where we sat in the tournament. It's not great that we're in the middle of the league, but it's also better than being dead last in turnovers per game. I mean, I think our perimeter defense definitely hurts us. Some teams just go off from three against us that shouldn't. Um, let's see. That's a number that sticks out to me. Denny Avdia 0 and 3 against the Hawks from three. That always hurts us. I mean, if Denny, man, yeah, he just needs to get more consistent from the 3 point line. But he has his moments and he is getting better. But yeah, if anything, I just see a lot of players here. Uh, let's see, Johnson, Bogdanovich, 2 for 3. Johnson 2 for 3 from three. This is all Hawks players. John Collins 4 for 7. Murray 1 for 5. Trey Young 3 for 4. So just a lot of good shooting numbers there. And then if we look at the Wizards, we have Avdia 0 for 3, Morris 1 for 3. Kispert's been doing great lately, 2 for 4. That's great. Beal 0 for 2. Kuzma 2 for 7. Porzingis lit it up 7 for 10, so he kind of made it up for us. But again, I don't like streaky playing. I know Porzingis had a crazy game, but I don't like the throw up the threes because it doesn't it when it works, woohoo. But at the same time, Porzingis has had some horrible second halves the last two games besides this Hawk game. So when he's not just shooting at like a all-star level, which how often can he really do that? We just get burned. So I don't know. I'm not in love with his game yesterday. Porzingis, I've been not talking some trash, but talking down about him these past two games, and he had an awesome scoring game yesterday. But there are some things that I think he can improve on. He had 5 fouls yesterday. I think that number could go down. So Porzingis had a great scoring game yesterday, but that to me does not, uh, that doesn't mean everything. Scoring is not everything, clearly, because we still lost the game. So the Wizards are in a tough spot. I mean, I didn't really know where I was going to go with this episode, other than the last thing I'd want to do is just quickly look at the Wizards' upcoming schedule, and I know we play the Hawks next again. It's a must win against the Hawks. They can't lose this game. Must win. Um, the 76ers, I think, are playing good basketball right now, so that's tough. Uh, I think the Wizards, if we're serious about making the playoffs this year, the Wizards have to win. I mean, wouldn't it be great, everyone, if the Wizards won 3 out of their next 4? That's what we would love to see. Uh, beat the Hawks, and then beat the Pistons again, and beat either the 76ers or the Cavaliers. That's what we have to do. We have to win 3 out of our next 4. I don't know, you guys. My head is spinning today from the Wizards because I want them to show the urgency for the sake of the playoffs, not for game by game. So that is one thing that needs to change. A lot of people down west yesterday for that loss. let's see how he comes back against the Hawks this next game. So, best case scenario here, Wizards come out, beat the Hawks like 120 to 96, something like that on their home turf. Let's see if they can do it. I'm done. I'm wrapping it here. I want the Wizards to speak with their actions. Uh, you know, praise the Wizards, everybody. Preach. I'll see you on the next one.